Okay, you're sitting in a room with lots of other people, and the teacher or the conference leader says, "Now, please tell us a little bit about yourself." That can be a scary thing. And it can happen in many different situations that you're asked to introduce yourself. It could be a foreigner that you're wanting to have a conversation with will ask you, "Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?" It could be that you need to be able to introduce yourself for a scholarship committee, or maybe in an interview for a new job. It could be when you're meeting people at a new job or in a new English class. It could be at an international conference. So it's very important to be able to introduce yourself effectively and confidently, and to know what it is that you should include in the introduction. In this video, I'm going to talk about 10 steps that you can take, and I'll walk through that process with you today so that you have an introduction that you're proud of, that you can practice and use. You can customize it and use in different situations. It's important to be able to effectively introduce yourself because it can demonstrate the skills that you have and help you connect with other people. You're wanting to mention things that other people will connect with, would be interested in. So it's important to have a notebook available, and you can make notes in the notebook. You can pause the video when you need to. You can watch it again, and I'll give you the 10 steps that I would take to create an introduction that you can be proud of. Now let's go on to the first step. The first step to preparing a great introduction is to understand your audience. Will you be using formal speech or more informal speech? Is this an international conference or an interview for a job? Or are you talking casually to someone you met, or introducing yourself to peers in a new English class? Determining who your audience is will also influence what kinds of information you would share during your introduction. Let's move on to step 2. In this video, I'm going to focus on creating an introduction that you might be able to use with peers and maybe in a more formal situation, like at a conference of people from other countries. So the second part of creating a great introduction would be to consider the greeting. What I would do, if it's before 12 o'clock, I would say, "Good morning," or "Good morning, everyone." If it's after 12 o'clock, I would say, "Good afternoon." If it's after 4 or 5, I would say, "Good evening." Number 3 is telling them who you are. My name is Teacher Kim. My name's Teacher Kim. The contraction, my name's, sounds more natural and is considered informal. I use both, actually, in formal and informal situations. You can find out which one feels more comfortable to you. My name's Teacher Kim. My name is Teacher Kim. People are often interested in where you're from and how long you've been living in your current situation. For example, I would say, "I'm from the United States. I've been living in Southeast Asia for most of the past 8 years. Number 5 in the process that I'm explaining today would be to describe your role. What I mean by this is, are you a student? Do you work? Maybe you do both. For example, I'm a senior at the university, and I've also worked as a night receptionist for the past 3 years. Consider your audience throughout this process. It's going to be different in different situations. If you're speaking introducing yourself at a conference in Vietnam, for example, and it's with students from other countries around Southeast Asia, then it would be interesting if you offered things like the answer to what is your favorite food? My favorite food is, and then people would be interested in what that might be for people in other countries. My favorite food wouldn't be appropriate most of the time unless you're asked if you are applying for a scholarship or interviewing for a job. So even though it's a more formal situation, an international conference, think about who your audience is and what they would like to hear and what you would like to hear about them. Because when you give your introduction, other people might add those factors into their introduction to share more information. Anything that helps you connect with other people could be important for your time at the conference. So you might want to talk about your favorite food. You might want to talk about the type of movies you like. Do you like scary horror movies, or do you like adventure? Do you like animation cartoons? What kinds of things are interesting to you that will be interesting to the people in the group? Remember that your goal in offering an introduction is to demonstrate your English skills and to connect with people that you're speaking with. Sometimes we speak about family, but that's usually in a more informal situation. If you're introducing yourself to other classmates in a new English class, you might want to say, I'm the eldest of 12 siblings. You can talk about things that might be more unique or remarkable or help you connect with people in the room. You might say, I'm from a small family of farmers from the mountains of northern Laos. So give it a personal touch, but keep in mind that speaking about family is usually done in an informal situation. Speaking a little bit about your hobbies and what you like to do in your free time is usually expected in informal and formal introductions. You can talk about the things that you love to do, that you enjoy doing. I love reading novels. I love listening to music. I enjoy running. You can talk about the things that are of interest to you, and that might spark a conversation with somebody else at the conference or in the classroom. They might come to you to find out more about the interests that you have that's different from theirs. Or they might find common ground that they can come and talk to you about these things too. They might ask you, what kind of music do you like? And then you'll start a conversation with other people at the conference. So it's usually expected to share hobbies and free time activities. Each person giving an introduction is unique, and I want to hear that in their introduction. If I'm a teacher in a class of 55 people, hearing introductions helps me to understand their level of English, helps me know how I can help them in the future. It also tells me what their motivation is or why they want to study English. Sometimes it offers that information. If a person is very interested in music, I like to hear about that. And they might add, my favorite English language singer is. Now that's something that can spark a conversation with other people in the class, other people at a conference. Maybe somebody else has that same interest and appreciates that same singer, and you can share that. You could also add, the most beautiful place in my country is. Now that's interesting to me as a teacher because I want to know what I should see while I'm in that country or in that area. But it also tells me more about the person. And the most beautiful place in my country is a sense of pride also that can be shared. I also want students to tell me why they want to study English. I study English because, and then give the answer. I study English because I want to own an international trading company, and English will be helpful to me in the future. Okay, that helps me understand the motivation as a teacher. And if you're at a conference, it might help you connect to other people in the room. You don't want to get to the end of your introduction and then have this awkward silence. It's important to have a closing ready for your introduction. One way that I encourage students to close an introduction is to say, "I'm glad I'm here, and I look forward to meeting you." Your goal is to demonstrate your English skills and to help you connect with other people in your audience. Now that we've gone through this 10-step process, you have several short sentences. Now, it's important to make it sound more natural. You have all the information you need. See if you can combine some of the sentences to make more complex and interesting sentences. And I'll give an example at the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching this video, and good luck with your introduction and connection with lots of wonderful people around the world. Bye-bye. Hey, wait, don't stop now. Keep studying while you've got time. And I've even offered a couple of suggestions.